Hey, shalom, shalom. Hey, first and foremost, want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakakwadash. You double honors the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to you, Akim, pushing the work in truth and in sincerity. All right. Is there wisdom no more in teman? All right. Is there wisdom no more in teman? Okay. And this is from Jeremiah, the 49th chapter, the 7th verse. It says concerning Edom. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in teman? All right. Is counsel perished from the prudent? All right. Is their wisdom vanished? Okay. All right. And that's the case. All right. They've lost their wisdom. All right. And this is dealing with the elite class of Edomites who rule the world. All right. All right. They lost their wisdom. They lost their counsel. All right. All right. And it's all of the Lord. The Lord is doing it. Okay. And what inspired this video was a video that a brother posted, 15-second video of Joe Biden calling the Pope African-American baseball player. All right. And immediately, I'm saying to myself, wow, this dude is incompetent, and it's really bad. It's getting to the point where, it almost seems like it's a ploy, and most brothers think that, but I honestly think it's just the Lord really sticking it to Esau. As this kingdom is falling, we're seeing their incompetency, we're seeing their foolishness, we're seeing their greed, we're seeing all their nakedness, so to speak, man. All right. And I'm not gonna play that video, but I'm sure brothers watched it. But after after I watched that video, I was saying to myself, man, they do all sorts of foolish things, and it really started for me, because I'm a lot younger. It started for me when I seen George Bush. I see how arrogant and proud he was, and how stupid he was, all right. And then they tried to put a smooth president in there, Obama, and being of a darker, hue. But that dude is just as dumb as they come as well. All right. A bunch of smart dummies, and he passed homosexual rights. So homosexuals can be married, very blasphemous thing, and that's really a stupid move. Of course, especially if you want to run a progressive society, so what I'm noticing with American politics, Edomite politics, all right, and those that rule a free world, they're doing a lot of self-inflicted things to themselves, all right, and is really damaging this place, is to the point where soon enough, all right, this place is going to go up in smoke soon. So yeah, man. So I just typed in Joe Biden's name, and I'm just looking at the American politics, man. He has the worst rating among all presidents. Their generals falling out at the podium, among other things, man. All sorts of things. This dude is just weird. He touches on little girls, and he makes people feel very uncomfortable. Look at that. I'm not gonna play any videos. But yeah, this one, I'm sure brothers seen this one. It's just showing you their nakedness, man. Then you got Kamala Harris as the vice president, man. This is a joke, man. This is a joke. She was with Montel Williams. You could tell she drinks, she smokes. Look at him, the dummy. Okay, the Lord is really sticking it to these Edomites, man. All right. He's really sticking it to these Edomites, you know, and at least that's what I like, like to believe, man. But the scriptures say what it say, all right. And not just that, here's an article really quick, you know, just America's self-inflicted policies. I just typed that in, and you got tons of articles going all the way back to 2012. This is 2 days ago. America's self-inflicted wound, Politico. All right. America's self-inflicted wounds, road to decline. America's self-inflicted wounds. That's 2012. Opinion: Biden is reeling from one self-inflicted crisis to the next. You see? All right. And when you just look at how this place is set up, it's a death culture. All right. Gluttony is very, prevalent in this society. Greed is very prevalent in society. Self-worship, you know, self-worship. All right. Among other things, man. All right. And the list goes on, man. All right. So look at that. A little bit more. America's self-inflicted national security crisis. All right. The sum of us, Heather McGee, on the price we all pay for racism in the U.S. America's self-inflicted wound. Self-inflicted wounds of U.S. economic policy. All right. That was an article from 94. So it goes back. All right. Even their foreign policy, when it comes to their foreign policy, they just make things worse. All right. Putting, embargoes on certain nations and stuff like that. All it does is self-inflict, especially in this time, it's a long list of things, man, All right. So, and, I wanted to mention their, what they're doing as of now, as far as the, creating the scarcity for food, and then a likelihood of energy crisis, lights out, um, they're doing all these things through pride, all right, because they want the people, they want to subdue the people and put the people in straits, in very difficult situations, so that when the time comes, when they do the Great Reset, they can bring in, the RFID chip, all right, and force people, all right. But this is all playing according to the Lord's will, all right. So let me go ahead and read. I already read the first two paragraphs before the lesson, but I wanted to get into the meat because I read this like 2 days ago. All right. Let's see. So I'm going to start at the third paragraph. And it says, unfortunately, this sense of hope will wane if America continues on its current path. Inadequate regulation of the financial sector, among other factors, has dragged the country into one of its worst recessions ever, yielding historically high unemployment and an expansion of people over 46 million in 2010 living below the poverty line. All right. It says undisciplined public spending pushed the total debt to GDP ratio over 100% this year. A recent congressional budget office report points to the increasing likelihood of a double dip recession caused by the impending fiscal cliff in 2013. This reflects failures by Congress to agree on an orderly alternative method to address the budget deficit. And all they do really, when they get into, delegating, all they do is filibuster. They really don't pass laws for to help the society out, which shows you that they're really destroying themselves. They put all their money towards the military, which is dumb. All right. But again, his blessing is the sword, so it goes with the territory of who he is. All right. And we can't hate him for who he is, you know, but it just shows you that the Lord has set them up for failure. OK, not only in the U.S. Digging its own, not only is the U.S. digging in its own grave domestically, it is also doing so internationally as well. After entering a decade-long war in Iraq, the legitimacy of which is still being debated. We're not even supposed to be debating the legitimacy. It's supposed to be legit out of the gate. You're supposed to have enough evidence to go inside a country, to raid a country, all right, and to take people down, all right. And sometimes that takes years, all right. But this devil is doing. He's moving how he's moving, all right. Okay, he was blessed with the sword, and they believe, which is true, somewhat true, that they have a rightful claim to everything in the earth, every resource in the earth. Okay, which they really don't, but they got the blessing of the sword. So they're ruling with the sword, their military might. All right. And they prey upon the weak. Okay. As the scriptures say, they remove landmarks. All right. So let's continue. It says, the U.S. is seen by many as more of a bully than a leader for global peace. The most disturbing fact from an American perspective is that the more than $3 trillion war bill and the 4,487 casualties have overstretched America's resources and diminished the public's tolerance for legitimate military interventions. And this is just the military. All right. When you look at the whole structure, the whole infrastructure, the whole society, all right, the capitalist democracy, whatever you want to call it, all right, is just set up, for the higher classes to get over on the poverty stricken classes. All right, that's all this set up for. Okay, getting over on the little guy. All right. It says the World Economic Forum attributes the decline in American competitiveness to the business community's extreme skepticism that politicians will avoid wasting resources, reduce spending, and stabilize regulations. A recent CNN poll found that only 15% of Americans trust the federal government. Wow. All right. So that means 85% don't trust the government. All right. It says to do what's right. You see, in February of this year, more Americans reported holding favorable views of North Korea than Congress's job performance. This is not entirely surprising. One only needs to look at the shameful congressional showdown in 2011 over the U.S. debt ceiling to get a sense of senselessness of America's political environment. All right. And this is back in 2012. All right. So just imagine this is 10 years later at this point, and we're about to see the shit hit the fan. All right. And we've seen the dumbest things you could possibly do. All right. Now they want to kill babies. They're promoting to kill babies. This society is just completely upside down, man. All right. Okay. And it's getting to the point where it's beyond disgusting. All right. It's beyond detestable. All right. So let's get back to the scriptures. I really, Salaki. All right. So, let's see Isaiah. Well, you know what? I wanted to go into the word wisdom here in Jeremiah 49:7, which I have it right here. And I just wanted to point this out. All right, because we see this this is evident among these Edomites, man. The Lord is really doing them in. All right. Okay, so this is the word wisdom. I think it's hakam. All right, if I'm not mistaken, it says wisdom, skill in war. All right, and they put billions into a drone war. All right, so it's really not no hand-to-hand combat really as much as people think. America's been drone striking. All right, and winning wars that way. Okay, and really they're not winning any wars. All right, they're just keeping up their military presence in certain strategic places so that they can occupy resources. All right, and destabilize nations. It says shrewdness, wisdom, prudence, and religious affairs. All right. So they completely lost all of that. All right. It says wisdom, ethical, and religious. All right. Down here. All right. Wisdom, wisely, skillful men and wits. And you could look at Joe Biden. You could tell they ran out of wits. You could tell they ain't skillful. All right. Even when you look at they tried to make Obama cool. All right. Which we know he was trained to act and walk and talk the way he was. All right. When you look at Bush, man, you could tell, like, yeah, these dudes are really idiots, man. All right. And all in all, man, that's the Lord. Okay. So let's see, what did I have over here? Oh yeah, the commentary from David Guzik. All right, and he says, it says, "Is wisdom no more in Teman?" All right, part of God's judgment against the Edomites was to bring them foolish and incompetent leaders. To this day, this is one way the Most High may show his displeasure against the nation. You see? All right. And Teman is dealing with the ruling class, the ruling elite class of these Edomites. They're supposed to be the smart ones. All right. All right. The Germans, and the Germans are the smartest ones among Edomites anyway. Okay. All right. And a lot of these politicians, their bloodline goes back to German Edomites, So Isaiah 32:5. Okay. Let's see. All right. So we see this among, all right, the incompetency among their leaders. All right. So this is a sign, hey, that the Lord is bringing this man down. Okay. 32:5. All right. Let's just get straight to the point. Isaiah 32:5. The vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. All right. And Esau is that vile person. Okay. Because they don't follow any rules, any godly rules. All right. They're not upstanding. They're not upright. They're not fair. Okay. They're vile because they're all about greed and they're all about Satanism. All right. Witchcraft. Okay. All right. And all you got to do is look up the Bohemian Grove because they're getting themselves ready to go and do sacrifices of children. All right. And that's what the politicians do. All right. They got really deep, dark things that they do behind the cameras. OK, which we don't get to see. But we know because it's being revealed through the Spirit. Verse 6, it says, for the vile person will speak villainy. All right. It says, and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy. And that's what they do in this society. All right. That's what they from their agriculture to the health administration. It's all a hypocrisy. OK, because they'll promote to you McDonald's and, Burger King and, and then. All right. They won't give you. You can't afford health insurance. That's hypocrisy. All right. Because it's all about gaining. It's all about capitalizing in this society rather than looking out for people's health. Okay. It says, and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. And that's Esau, man. All right. Okay. Let me read it in the NLT. All right. Excuse me. It says, in that day, ungodly fools will not be heroes. You see? And they paint themselves as heroes. Okay. But the soul which is lifted up is not upright in them. All right. It says, scoundrels will not be respected. You see? And that's what these Edomites are, just complete scoundrels. All right. For fools speak foolishness and make evil plans. And that's what they do. They practice ungodliness. All right. At the highest order. Okay. It says, and spread false teachings about the Lord. You see? All right. They even got, Christian churches compromising for homosexuals. All right. Which we know that's a no-no when it comes to the scriptures and God's eternal law. All right. Because the Lord is about procreating. This society is about killing you. This society is about destroying the family. All right. Okay. It says they deprive the hungry of food and give no water to the thirsty. All right. And that's it. And in this society, what do they promote? They promote violence. All right. They promote self-love. All right. Which that's self-love and self-care that goes into selfishness. All right. Conceitedness and all sorts of other madness. All right. It says the smooth tricks of scoundrels, all right, are evil. They plot crooked schemes. They lie to convict the poor. All right. And when you look at Esau's justice system, that's exactly what they've been doing. All right. For decades. All right. All right. It says even when the cause of the poor is just, you see, and they murder the poor. All right. All right. Have they done to the so-called black leaders who have been pushing for change? What do they do? All right. They sabotage them and they murder them. All right. So it says, but the generous people plan to do what is generous. All right. And of course, that's the elect. It says, and they stand firm in their generosity. All right. Okay. And so the Lord is about to really, really, really stick it to Esau. All right. As we see his society collapsing. All right. We see him playing Boo Boo the Fool in front of the cameras. All right. Which is a sign. To me, it's a sign. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right. So this is, let me see. Job chapter 20. All right. And I think I want to go straight to the point on this one. All right. 20 and 27. I could start up. In fact, I will. All right. I'm going to start at 22. Okay. Because this devil is, he's doing all of these things in the earth. All right. For a reason, so he protect himself for that great and dreadful day. All right. He think he's going to hoard all these resources. All right. And put everyone into captivity. All right. In hopes that ultimately he can fight against the Lord. In hopes that the Lord will just forget about this place. That ain't going to happen. Who knows what this devil believes, but we know what the scriptures say. It says, Job 20 and 22, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. All right. It says, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. All right. All right. And the wicked, the Hebrew word there is aimal, I believe. And that goes into those who he has oppressed. You see? So in the fullness of his sufficiency, all right, when he's about to capstone his enterprise, which is the New World Order, he's going to be in trouble, straits, meaning a difficult position. All right. It says every hand of the wicked, those who he has oppressed, shall come upon him. All right. And mainly it's going to be the nations who the Lord is rising up, the dead. All right. It says, verse 23, it says, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. All right. So the Lord, all right, is setting this devil up. Okay. All right. To overthrow him at the most inconvenient time. All right. Verse 24, which is very near, is very close. All right. Verse 24, it says, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bull steel shall strike him through. All right. It is drawn and cometh out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. All right. And that's representing thermonuclear missiles that's going to come out of those silos. All right. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. All right. And it's going to be the thermonuclear missiles. All right. That destroy their land. All right. Which is America. Okay. And other parts of the world. All right. It says that the heaven, all right, shall reveal his iniquity. Okay. And that's what we're seeing. All right. And the earth shall rise up against him. You see, so the Lord, you can't get over on the Lord, man. All right. No matter what they've been doing behind closed doors and doing in the world and throughout antiquity, the Lord has it set up where everything is going to turn against you. Okay. Nature itself is turning against you. Okay. Right along with the heathen nations and everybody in the world, because the scripture says, I will make you small among the heathen and greatly despised. All right. And that's the Lord's doing. OK, so we can rejoice in that. All right. As we see these dummies on TV, these Edomites, incompetent, can't even finish a full sentence. You know, that's a sure sign that this man is really, really losing it. All right. It says the increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. All right. Because they're hoarding all the resources, what? Only to give those resources up. All right. When the Lord returns. All right. Verse 29, this is the portion of a wicked man from the Most High, and the heritage appointed unto him by God. All right. So this is what they're going to receive for all the things. They're going to receive destruction. All right. So my last precept. Okay. Psalm 73. All right. And 3. Well, you know what? I started 1. It says, truly God is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. And we're seeing how good he is, all right, by taking our enemies down. So that's another one. All right. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men. All right. Neither are they plagued as like other men. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment. The eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. All right. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. All right. And they look down upon those that they oppress. They have absolutely no empathy. They have absolutely no mercy. But going back to verse 2 and 3, as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. And we're not supposed to envy our oppressors. The scriptures say we're not supposed to envy our oppressors. All right. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, the scriptures say it shall go ill with the wicked. All right. Because what? Because of the judgments. All right. It's because what they're going to receive behind what they've done. All right. The scripture says God is not mocked. That which a man sow, that shall he also reap. All right. So you ain't no getting over on the Lord. So yeah, at one point we might have looked at it. We might have been envious towards their prosperity, but um, we know that. Let's go back to Job 20 real quick because this says it all. All right, Job 20 and all right, 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? You see, so their joy is but for a moment. Okay, Psalm 73 and 9. It says they set their mouth against the heavens. All right, and we see that through their policies. All right. And that goes back to their counsel failing them. Okay. Because here they are, making these policies and thinking that they're doing something, and they're only doing damage to themselves. All right. It says, therefore, his people return hither as and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. All right. And they say, how doth God know? And is there knowledge in the Most High? All right. Because the Lord is all seeing, all knowing. That's what Esau is trying to achieve through his transhumanism. And it's not going to happen. Transhumanism alone shows you how dumb you are. Okay? Humanism shows you how stupid you are. All right? It says, behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Verily, I have cleansed my heart in vain and washed my hands in innocency. For all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning. If I say, I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation. But yeah, so that was a point. All right. This devil is falling, and you could tell. You can easily tell. All right. You can easily tell. All right. And you should know them by their fruits. You should know them by the things that they do. All right. Pedophiles, imbeciles, all right, incompetent, and all they know is wickedness. All they know is wickedness, which absolutely is going to lead them to nowhere but their own destruction. Look at Nancy Pelosi. All right. These are the worst human beings on God's green earth. All right. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. To you, Akim and Aqua that tune in, and I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakodash, a double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Salutations to you, Akim, pushing the work in truth and in sincerity. Until next time, I say shalom.